welcome to another episode of the Bottom of the Stream Movie Show. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome back to the show.
How are you, Nick?
I'm great.
Yeah, excited for this one?
Yeah, I'm always excited to talk about movies.
You're going to get your one wild card a season, and this is your wild card episode. So you should be excited.
Has it been a wise choice?
How are you going to beat Sam to put yourself at the top of the stream table?
I'm just happy to be here. Thanks for including
just happy
me.
To play the game.
Yeah.
So this week we are watching a film called Under the Shadow. It is Nick's wild card for the season 6. It's from 2016. It is a 15. It runs for 1 hour and 24 minutes and is currently rated at 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's not bad, is it?
It's high. Stars a lady called Narges Rashidi. Narges Rashidi. She plays Shide. Shide, is that how I'm pronouncing this? Because a couple of people pronounced it different during the film.
I'm not really sure.
I'm going Shide, I think.
My sort of Iranian/Persian
there was
pronunciation
at least 3 different pronunciations during the film. You might know her. She was in the recent Gangs of London TV show.
I've not seen it.
I haven't either, but she's in that, so if you have seen it, you might recognise who she is.
Gareth Evans directed that.
He did indeed. Also stars a young kid called Avin Manshadi. She plays Dorsa. She's a child, so she's not really been in much before. And then also stars a guy called Babak Anvari. He plays Iraj. He's the husband.
Yeah.
He's been in 2 Netflix films.
Has he?
Yeah. Well, no. He's been in 1 Netflix film and 1 Netflix TV show.
Okay.
So he's in Bright with Will Smith,
Wow.
which was one of their first films.
It was, yeah.
And he's also in Black Summer, which was their zombie TV show a few years ago. So he's in both of them.
Lovely.
Written and directed by Babak Anvari. This was his first ever feature film, for which he won a BAFTA.
Good result.
In 2017 for outstanding debut by a British director.
Oh, we're lovely.
Since then, he's made 1 more film.
Right.
This man has made 2 films. We have reviewed them both on Bottom of the Stream.
Have we?
Yes. This man also directed Wounds.
Wow. I did not know that.
2 very different films. I think you will agree. So this was first, and then
that
Wounds
is not
came
planned.
straight
I
after.
genuinely didn't know
That's
that.
why I just before we started recording, I checked with Nick if he had heard any stats on the director, and he hadn't, because I wanted to surprise him on the show. Yeah,
even though we would have obviously mentioned his
we
name.
have mentioned him before, and the fact that he was a BAFTA winner before. But yeah, I think you'll agree they're 2 very, very different films,
They certainly are.
and in terms of quality and content. But yeah, he's not done anything since as far as filmmaking goes. I've got some IMDb trivia. If you want
Lovely.
to,
Yes, please.
Want to learn some more about this film. I've also got the box office stats. Do you want that as well?
Yes. Love a stat.
This film was released in cinemas in the United States, in Greece, New Zealand, and the UK had a cinema release at one point. Total gross for the film is only $133,324.
Right.
This is a really highly critically acclaimed film. Film critics love this film. In Greece, it only made $6,920. In New Zealand, it only made $1,900.
There's like ass screening.
And in the UK, it made $93,000 with a domestic gross of $31,000. So it actually made more money here than it did anywhere else.
Okay.
But it is technically a British film. It's made by a British Iranian director, and it was funded by the British film people. It's actually shot in Jordan, even though it's shot in Iran.
Lovely.
Based in Iran. It was the official submission by the United Kingdom for the Best Foreign Language Film category at the 89th Academy Awards.
Wow.
It did, but failed to get a nomination.
Okay.
It is included in the 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die, edited by Stephen Schneider, which is a big book that comes out every year. It's also Mark Kermode's favourite film released in the UK in 2016.
Okay. Wow, this is really,
It's really high up.
like you say, critically well
Acclaimed.
regarded.
I don't have a lot of time for Mark Kermode, I'm not going to lie. Is it Kermode or Kermode? Kermode's like a toilet.
Yeah.
I'm going with that.
It's Kermode.
It's Kermode. But a lot of people respect his opinion on films. So, yes, I thought I'd give you I've shot you with some stats there.
I like it. I'm impressed. I feel like,
it bodes
even though I've
well.
already seen it, I feel under more pressure.
It bodes well for your pick. Yeah, I couldn't believe it was the same director as Wounds. It blew my mind.
I'm still not sure I believe it now, having seen both of them.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have a 1-word review?
Sheet scary.
That's good. That's good. That's a good pun. Where does this film start, Nick?
We've got some writing on the screen.
I didn't write the writing
Got
down
some
this time. I
context.
usually do.
I didn't write it word for word.
It was I've written Iran war history.
Yeah.
That's basically what it was.
It basically says the longest running war in the 20th century was the Iran-Iraq war. It ran for 8 years, 1980 to 1988. And essentially is telling you, Iran was a pretty bad place to be.
Yes.
It was getting bombed
a lot.
And that's where we are. And we get the credits for the movie over sort of news footage of said war.
Saddam Hussein and that sort of thing. And the film then opens up with, we meet a girl. We meet Shide.
Yep.
Straight away. During the course of this conversation, you find out that she's trying to get back into university.
She's basically being interviewed, isn't she?
Yeah. It sounds like from the conversation you gather that she's left university to follow political allegiances, I guess.
She was basically, she was a medical student.
Yeah.
Who paused or stopped her studies during basically the revolution.
Yeah.
Because she went left.
She did. She had left political leanings.
Yeah. And very much against the totalitarian nature of the state.
Yeah, so the guy at the university's like, there's absolutely not a cat in hell's chance you're coming back to this
She's
university.
basically persona non grata.
Yeah, you're not welcome here at this university. You need to pick a new life goal, is what he says.
It's pretty brutal.
You've got no chance of now becoming a doctor because this is the only place that you can do. You need to pick it. He is really brutal with her. So she leaves that. She's obviously quite devastated. Yeah. She leaves the university, goes to pick up her daughter. We meet Dorsa for the first time.
Yeah, takes her back to their
They live in an apartment block. She was being looked after by a neighbour in the same apartment block. She goes home. She starts packing all of her study books away. She's given up on this life goal now. She's going to sell them.
Yeah, my dream's over.
But she's decided to keep one. One was dedicated to her by her mother, I think. She was it was given as a gift. So she keeps that. She locks it in.
It's got like an inscription in it saying like, "Well, follow your dreams,"
on getting
basically.
into your medical course and stuff. So she locks that into a lockable drawer and keeps it, and the rest to go in to the charity shop. Then her husband comes home. We meet Raj for the first time.
Yeah. Just to rub salt in the wounds. Yeah. He is a doctor.
It sounds like they were on the same course, but he completed it and she did not. He comes home. She tells him that she's about to give up on all of her dreams. And he says that's maybe for the best. And she didn't really like that.
He's kind of like
he's a bit.
He supports her, but not. He doesn't. He's very passive aggressive, isn't he?
Yeah, there's not a lot of love lost between these two at the minute. They seem to be in a bad time in their marriage.
Because he can't understand. Because he's got it. He can't understand why this means so much to her.
Yeah. Yes,
and he's not
sympathetic.
He's not on her level, is he?
No, not even slightly. She doesn't like the fact that he says maybe that's for the best. Maybe you do need to do something else.
Yeah,
takes exception to that. But before we can
she takes to mean, oh, you want me to stay at home, do the dishes, and look after the child?
Stay-at-home wife. But before we can get into that argument, as a siren starts sounding and the power cuts off in the building.
Yeah,
it's an air raid siren. The planes are coming basically. So they all head down to the basement of the building. Everybody who lives in this apartment block heads down there. There's a boy, a creepy boy. I would describe him as.
A new boy.
He doesn't usually live there, but he has appeared now, and he hands Dorsa something. We're not sure what it is at this point. Do we ever find out? I think we do.
Yes, we do. Yeah. I know what it is.
Okay. I do as well. And then that all blows over. Nothing comes of it.
Shidea says to the nice lady, who's that kid?
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh, that's the landlord's
nephew." Yeah.
He's gone to live with them because his parents have died or left.
Something.
He's on his own.
He's on his own. So we leave that scene. We met the kid. Dorsa then wakes up in the middle of the night. She's had a bad dream. She said she heard somebody walking around in the house.
Yeah.
She wakes her dad. She calls her dad. Interestingly, she doesn't call her mum. She calls her dad. And then they wake up the next morning and have a bit of a chat about that. We're basically just living these people's lives. And this is what life in Tehran in the 80s was like.
It's not great.
It's not great. It's a bit grim, isn't it? There's all tape all over the windows, and it's not good.
I will say, by the end of this movie, I think I may never now feel the same about the noise of tape being pulled again. The same, because it's what this movie does well is make normal things creepy.
Yeah, it's quite unsettling for quite a lot of the movie. It takes a little while before it gets there.
Yeah,
but then, like you say,
the sound of tape being unrolled,
or
is horrible.
Or curtains blowing in the wind, or sheets moving and stuff. You're right. They do. So we're sitting around having breakfast. Iraj has had a letter. He's been called up to the war because he's a doctor. So
he's got drafted.
He's been drafted. He's been drafted before, but he's been to safe places before.
Sure.
This time he is not going to.
He's working as a medic.
Yeah. This time he's going to Iraq, which is right in the front line, and he wants Shida and Dorsa to move to his parents because Tehran is not a good place to be.
Yeah.
They'd be safer there. His parents live in the north.
There's rumours, isn't there, building that Iraq is going to up its
literally
attacks on the city.
And he doesn't want them to be there, which is fair. You wouldn't want your family to stay there, would you? She's not willing to move.
But this is our home.
100%. This is my home. We're going to stay here. They have a big argument about it. And then he uses a line where he says, being a doctor wasn't your dream, it was your dead mum's dream.
Yeah, that cuts her.
Literally.
He's like, you weren't interested in going back till she died.
Yeah. He cut her to the bone. Things are not good with this couple. That's what we're finding out. And it doesn't matter because he leaves to go to war now. And we don't see him again for a good while.
I like that there's a bit, it's just not really a big thing, but Shade's got like these illegal VCRs. Well, they're not even VCRs, they're like Betamax, aren't they?
Yeah, big videotapes.
And she works out to Jane Fonda.
She does, I've got that a few times. So he leaves to go to war. Dorsa that night wakes up again in the night. She has wet the bed this time because she's absolutely terrified of something. Yeah. But we're not sure what, and she's not really even sure what it is at the minute.
And then, the first big scare for me of this movie, some toast pops up.
Yeah.
And I jumped out of my seat.
Did it really?
Yeah. I watched this with headphones in on my iPad.
Okay.
So I was quite dialed in.
Yeah. You were fully immersed in it.
Yeah. And it got me. Fucking toast. Unbelievable.
That's great. Shade's quite cold towards Dorsa at some points during there. Some points she's really loving, but sometimes she can be quite cold. Yeah. And she's like, look, this is all nonsense. There's nothing in this house other than us two. You're absolutely fine.
I've said that. It almost exactly the same, actually, because Dorsa says, can I sleep? Now Dad's gone, can I sleep in your bed? And I'll just put, she's actually, Shade is actually quite detached.
Yeah, she's completely
at this
cold
point from her daughter.
And her Dorsa reveals at this point that she's being told ghost stories.
Yeah.
By the new kid, the new lad who's moved in. And so Shade goes to the neighbour, who is the landlady.
So Dorsa says, look, the spirits, I've been told that there are spirits coming to hurt us. Yeah. And the thing that he'd slipped her in the basement was a ball of cat fur.
Lovely.
Because it's for protection. It's
for good, yeah. Does cat fur protective?
Yeah. But Shade had already thrown it away.
Yeah.
Because
not good.
Well, it's a ball of hair.
Yeah, why would you keep it? So she goes to visit the landlady whose nephew it is. And she's like, his name's Mehdi, but there's no way he could have possibly told Dorsa these stories because he's a mute. He has been since his parents died.
Oh, interesting.
Same. I did as well. But then the auntie goes, but he is creepy.
Yeah, that was funny, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was funny. Did you do the subtitles of this?
I did do the subtitles, yeah.
I did the dub. The dub wasn't too bad, but like you said.
Well, I only nipped onto it really briefly, and I was just out of interest. And I was like, oh,
they've all got American
accents. She's American now.
Yeah.
No, I'll switch back.
Yeah. I didn't notice it as a particularly bad dub, but I don't know what they sounded like originally. Yeah. So, but normally you would think that they'd do it in the accent.
No, I went Persian.
Okay, cool. You ever watched a Persian film before?
Don't think so.
No, no way. So yeah, we found out this kid's quite creepy, and even his auntie thinks he's creepy. Shida gets a telephone call from Iraj at this point. He calls to check in, to see how she's doing. Still begging her to leave, telling her to go up north with his parents, because he's heard this rumor that Iraq is now going to
seriously.
They're going to level Tehran, is what he says. They're literally going to bomb it.
But then, as she puts the phone down, we then cut to her listening to. Has she got the wireless on?
Yeah,
and there's
the wireless. How old are you? That's what Nan used to call it.
And there's a news report basically confirming what Iraj has said.
Yeah.
And she snaps at Dorsa, doesn't she?
Yeah,
she's like, playtime's over.
Yeah, she proper snapped.
Yeah.
Because before that phone call, they were having a nice tea party, weren't they, and stuff. Mid snap, they hear a massive explosion.
Yeah, there's no warning.
So there's no warning this time. There's just an explosion in the building. All the power goes off again. And they run.
Dorsa's like knocked to the floor, isn't she?
They run out of the apartment to start with, and then Dorsa goes back because her doll's not with her.
Yeah.
So, and then she kind of gets knocked to when we go back in, she's unconscious.
Yeah.
But the explosion had already happened by that point. But when she wakes up, she explained that she saw something that was so scary.
She saw them.
Yeah, and it was so scary. That's why she passed out.
Yeah.
They go down to the basement to cower from these bombs that are falling, I suppose. And an elderly neighbour needs a doctor.
Yeah, so they're on the way to the basement.
Yeah, the family could be like, we need a doctor. You're the closest thing we've got to a doctor, Shide.
You do medical
stuff. You do medical stuff. Can you please come and help my father? He's in a bad way. So she goes into the top floor flat, I guess. And there's a massive bomb.
It's a missile.
A missile.
Sticking through the roof.
It's not exploded.
No.
It has just gone through the roof.
And this old guy's just like in his chair.
Yeah.
Not in a good way.
He's had a heart attack is what's happened. He's not in a good way. And he needs CPR. So she starts doing CPR on him as all the family. It's quite an intense scene because it's all going on. This bomb could explode at any minute. It's not exploding.
And that's, you got the other neighbours shouting, it could go off.
The neighbours are shouting, the family are crying. Yeah. Shide's trying to do this CPR, and eventually she gives up. She can't rescue him.
Yeah, she can't save him.
This man dies. First death of the film. So they all go outside because their building is now in a bad way. There's a bomb hanging out the ceiling for a start. And this enormous crane manages to lift the bomb out of the building.
Pretty quickly. They seem to sort it out and let them back in.
Yeah, they're straight back in. They don't repair anything. No.
I'm sure you can just lift a missile out that could explode.
At any point. I did think that myself. I was like, surely there's some sort of protocol there. Yeah. You don't want to blow your crane up.
You condemn the building and move them out, surely. But anyway.
So they pull this bomb out of the building. Dorsa still can't find her doll. Her doll has vanished. We have no idea where it is.
Yeah, but now she's saying that they took it.
Yeah, she's convinced that whoever she saw took her doll.
Yeah.
People come to patch up the building. They're taping up the holes and stuff. And there's a man comes to repair the glass, doesn't he? And that sort of thing's going on. Then she does more of a Jane Fonda workout video.
Dorsa's not well. She's developed a fever.
Yeah, she's starting to get ill. Yeah, Dorsa has another bad dream. She's having like fever dreams now. Yeah. She's not in a good way. And then Shide has a bad dream where Dorsa's comes into the room because she's had a bad dream. But when Shide looks down at the Dorsa, it's the doll. Yeah. She has like a freaky, weird dream where the daughter turns into the doll.
There's a cool camera flip, wasn't there?
Yeah.
As Dorsa sits upright in bed, the camera follows it. And I took this to be the point of like,
this is where everything's changing.
Yeah. Yeah. The bad stuff's got in.
Yeah. We wake up the next morning and now not only is the doll missing, but Jane Fonda's gone for a run as well.
Yeah.
Nobody knows where she's gone.
The Betamax tape has
disappeared.
Dorsa won't eat.
No. And she's really bored because Shide said to Dorsa earlier in the day, you can just have a day off today. You can just sit and watch these videos all day. But then the glass man turned up.
Yeah.
So they can't watch the videos because the glass man's there and the videos are illegal. They're not supposed to have it. So Dorsa says, look, she's really bored. She does mention the VCR in front of the man. She gets told off for that. And then the neighbours come to knock on the door to reveal that they're leaving. They've got the woman whose dad died.
Yeah. She's like, here's some flowers. Thanks for saving him.
Yeah. We can't stay. There's a hole in the roof.
Yeah.
Basically, they've left this massive hole in the roof.
City.
They're leaving the city. They're going to flee the city.
And so that's the hole in the apartment above Shide's, because that's where the missile came through.
Yeah.
But in Shide's apartment, the ceiling is also cracked.
But only cracked. There's no hole there. It's just got because the tip of the missile hit above it. It's cracked the ceiling below.
Yeah, just the tip.
Yes. While Shide's asleep, the days fly by in this because everything happens while they're asleep. Yeah. So things are going like day things. While Shide's asleep that night, something attacks her in her bed. She wakes up and Iraj is lying next to her, but it's not Iraj. It's a ghost.
Yeah,
thing. And it attacks her, and she starts fighting it under the duvet, and it's quite an intense scene. And she gets the neighbours to come around and check on her.
Yeah,
to make sure everything's all right and there's no man in the apartment. Then she finds her Jane Fonda tape. And it's all ripped up in the bin. So she obviously thinks Dorsa's done that. Dorsa's claiming she hasn't done that. They start arguing about that.
The kind babysitter ladies said, well, we're going to go as well.
Yeah, we're leaving as well.
In the next few days. Yeah. So slowly everyone is emptying out this apartment block. They're going to relatives or just out of the city.
They're fleeing the city because the city's about to be bombed. Everybody knows this is happening. Meanwhile, Dorsa's still looking for a doll. Shide goes to speak to the landlady again. She reveals that
just for that she finds Dorsa. She's escaped. She's run upstairs and she is hammering on. She's like hysterical, hammering on the door, shouting that she wants her doll back.
Yeah, into this apartment where nobody lives now.
Yeah.
The landlady reveals that Mehdi has also been restless at night because shit's going down, and Shide's like, well, it's because of this ghost nonsense that they keep talking about, and the auntie's like, this ain't nonsense. This is happening. This is real. Yeah.
She says the missiles brought one in.
Yeah, the bombs brought the ghost.
The jinn.
The jinn. So then
they travel in on the wind.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. Isn't it?
It is cool.
Like a cool, not good, but like
it's a cool origin story for a ghost. Why not?
She also tells Shadea that the legend and the tales say that if the jinn have taken one of your treasured belongings, then you are marked, and you cannot escape them as long as they have
your
that
belonging. and the doll's missing.
Yeah.
So Dorsa's been marked, is what we're thinking right now. Then they reveal that they're moving out.
Yeah.
They're going as well. So which would leave
It's
Sade
their building.
It's their building, but they're going anyway.
Yeah.
Which leaves Sade and Dorsa alone in this whole apartment block, just the two of them. Sade wakes up in the night. We're getting to this point.
The masking tape's peeling off the window,
Yeah,
isn't it?
so the windows are all taped up in case they shatter. So she gets up and she goes up to the window and she puts the tape back on the window.
Yeah.
And a jump scare
there's a scare coming.
You know there's a scare coming because she's standing looking at a dark window. The music's gone intense. It's gone intense.
And you're like, oh, something's going to go past or...
Yeah. And then it almost passed.
Yeah.
And then the jump scene come.
It was really well done,
It was one of the best jump scenes we've seen on this show, I think.
Yeah.
I shit myself.
I absolutely... Yeah, same.
It was...
Totally got me.
It's the biggest jump scene in this movie.
Yeah.
And it basically a massive hand flies
smashes through the window.
Smashes through the window while she's looking at it.
Yeah.
I don't like looking out of a dark window anyway.
No.
It freaks me out. I've got the room I've got downstairs, which is all just windows at the back. I can't go in there at night because it's just weird. But yeah, that proper made me jump. It really, really got me, that one. I've written here, proper jump scene, that.
Yeah.
I love a good jump scene, but I don't tend to fall for them very often, but because it felt like it had passed, I feel like you relaxed a little bit, and then they did it. The timing was spot on.
But then she really wakes up.
Yep.
And the tape's all right.
Yep, tape's good.
But something does flash past the window.
Yes. We don't know what it was.
No.
But it does.
It's just something urethral.
Urethral, is that the right word?
I don't know, probably not.
Not urethral.
No.
She does a Jane Fonda workout tape with no tape. She's just looking at the
she does,
turned off TV, which is a bit strange.
Dorsa walks in and just like creepily stares at her.
Yeah. And she's still not well.
No.
So Sade takes her to see a doctor.
Again, I think this is a former university friend.
Yeah, it's a friend of hers from uni.
And even this doctor says, I'm out of here after today.
Yeah, I'm leaving. I'm done.
What the hell are you still here for?
Why are you still in this city? She basically got the whole city to herself.
And he says, look, I can't see that anything's wrong with her.
Physically, there's nothing
Clearly,
wrong with her.
she's still got a fever.
Yeah.
Have you considered that it's stress?
Yeah.
Because we're living in a war zone.
Which it clearly is.
Yeah.
But so she takes that, she accepts that. There's nothing physically wrong with Dorsa. That's good. That's what we wanted to hear. She drives home. She sees Mehdi on the side of the road.
Yeah, the creepy kid.
Yeah.
Just creepily staring.
Just standing there. So she asks him if he wants to lift home. He is obviously mute. He doesn't answer her. But he just nods his head and he gets in the car. She takes him home. And I put he is creepy. She was right.
He turns around and he looks at Dorsa, who's asleep on the back seat.
Yeah. And then he says, where's the doll?
Yeah.
She's a mute. He doesn't speak. It's freaky. When she gets home, this is the point where the landlady and her family are all leaving now. They're actually physically getting
there's no one else left in the building.
I feel like they were abandoning this kid because they're just about to leave.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Because the landlady's like, oh, where did you find him? I'm so grateful. But yeah, you could be right. They'd abandoned him further
in the streets somewhere. Yeah. Oh, I feel like that's what was
twist.
happening.
I hadn't thought of that.
So she picks him up. Because she shouts at him and everything. She's not very nice to him when she gets him.
No, not really.
Bundles him into the back of the car.
Yes, now I think about it, it's like, oh, was it a bit of overacting? Oh, where have you been? Yeah, I like it.
Thanks. She bundles him in the car. They drive off. We're literally now just the two of them left. So Shade's like, right, fuck this. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going. She's packing.
She starts packing her stuff. Dorsa says, I ain't going anywhere. Not without my doll.
Yeah.
Literally, this doll is my entire life. I'm not going anywhere without it. And she's literally begging Sade to help her find this doll. She says,
if we don't find that doll, I will stay sick.
Yeah. She kind of knows what's going on.
And she says, she's like begging at this point. And the performance by this little girl was great in this movie.
It was.
So she begs Sade, she says, please help me find her.
Yeah. So Sade's like, okay, we'll leave as soon as we found her.
Yeah.
We know she's here somewhere. Nobody's been anywhere. Nobody's been in. She must be here somewhere. As soon as we find her, we're out of here.
So at this point, they start upturning the flat.
Sade loses it and just starts upturning the bedroom.
Yeah.
She rips Dorsa's bedroom to pieces. But it isn't there. It's not in that room.
No.
So nobody knows where it is. And then the power goes out and the sirens go off again.
Back to the basement.
But it's just the two of them now. So it's even creepier that there's just two of them sitting in a basement. But nothing happens. No more bombs. So it's when it's all over, they head back upstairs. Yeah. And they go to bed. Again, there's a lot of going to bed in this film. But they go to bed. They sleep in the same bed this time. Because they're both terrified of life at the minute. Sade wakes up and there's an old man watching.
Oh, I didn't like this.
No.
There's you don't get a good look at him, but it's clearly an old man.
I think it was the old man who died earlier.
Oh, do you think it was?
I think so.
I couldn't really tell.
Because he kind of runs off at a really creepy speed and then he goes up the crack in the ceiling.
But he was naked, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was full on naked.
And then he's watching her sleep, and then she follows him, and he does like a weird janky walk through the apartment, and then he like climbs back up through the ceiling.
Crack in the ceiling and into the apartment where he lived. That's what I thought. Yeah.
And he's like, you just see his leg go back up through the ceiling. Yeah, it was horrible.
And the ceiling kind of heals itself back up to this cracked form. Yeah. That was really creepy. It was proper creepy.
And Shadea goes back to the bedroom, and Dorsa's just having a full-on conversation with a lady.
Yeah, there's nobody there.
So we can't see.
Yeah, there's nobody there, but she's having this full-on conversation with her. And the lady tells her that the doll is on top of the bookcase.
Yeah.
Which it isn't. So they run out into the street.
Yeah.
Shade's like, I'm fucking leaving this building. I am done with this building. So she runs out into the street with
They're in the pyjamas.
They're in their pyjamas.
This is a key point, because remember, we're in Iran.
Yes.
And she's a woman.
She is not covered. Her hair is not covered.
Yeah.
So she gets picked up by some, I've written soldiers, but I think they were like cops / soldiers, and gets taken back to the police station.
Yeah, she's basically being arrested for like exposure.
Yeah. So this woman comes in and she gives her like I don't want to use the incorrect term, but like a headscarf.
Yeah.
And she says, look, cover your... What are you doing for a start? What the fuck?
Yeah.
You're out in public in the middle of the night.
The worst thing you could do.
You could get lashes for this. Yeah. You could literally get lashed to death. Why are you out in the night uncovered? Then she's like, hopefully you'll get off with a warning. Luckily, she does get off with a warning.
The sheriff. The sheriff gives her an absolute dressing down.
He does. He gives her.
She's not listening.
And the one thing he says is the thing that women should most fear is being out in public uncovered.
Yeah.
That should be that. So she'd obviously said, look, I was really scared of my house. But he said, I don't give a shit. You should be more scared of being out in public uncovered. So she gets home.
Back to this apartment.
So they've got no choice now, because she can't go out in public anymore because she's going to be lashed. So she goes back to the apartment where she really doesn't want to be there. She puts Dorsa to bed, and then she gets some masking tape that they use for the windows. Yeah. And she tapes up the crack in the ceiling.
Yeah.
Which isn't going to work with masking tape.
No.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not load bearing.
No, definitely not. Maybe with like duct tape or something, but not masking tape. Iraj calls again to see why they're still there.
He's his not last effort, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not even playing around.
Get
now.
Out.
Yeah.
What the hell are you still doing?
What the fuck are you still doing in this creepy building that's going to be bombed by Iraq? She says, look, we are going to leave, but we can't leave until we find
It's a long story,
but we're not going anywhere until we find something.
And then we'll go.
Yeah. And then there's a knock on the door.
Yeah.
But there's nobody there.
A thing goes past.
A thing flies past the people, but there's nobody there. I've written weird ghostly figure heads upstairs.
Yeah, so Shadea follows it out.
Yeah. Follows it up the stairs. Because something's kicking off in this apartment upstairs.
And she turns around, and this blanket ghost.
It's a blanket.
Yeah. is at her door.
So
it's got past her.
The whole trope of ghosts being just people in sheets is a real thing in this movie.
It's like a shawl, isn't it?
It's a blanket ghost, which is a traditional ghost, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's proper fucking scary.
Yeah.
It's proper creepy.
So this blanket ghost is now outside her open apartment door, and Shadea's up a flight of stairs. Yeah. She's like, oh fuck, I've been done over it.
I've been screwed over it. So
it goes in.
It does.
It shuts the door behind it.
Yep. So Shadea's maniacally banging on the door for Dorsa to let her in. And eventually Dorsa does let her in. It takes a little while, but she does get in.
And she says, yeah, I was talking to that lady.
Yeah, that lady comes around here all the time.
And she says that she can look after me better than you.
Yeah. Burn. Yeah. Sick burn.
She's going to help me find the doll.
Yeah, and Shida says to her, well, when does this lady come around? And she's like, she comes around every time you're not here. Yeah. She's always here when you're not here. I was like, that's creepy as well. So Shida basically banishes Dorsa into the hallway.
Yeah.
She's like, you're only allowed to sit there. You can't go to bed. You're not allowed in your bedroom. You're not allowed in the lounge because creepy fucking shit's happening. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I'm swearing a lot in this episode. I apologise. So she's like, stay in the hall. I will try and find your doll.
So she's still looking the rest of the flat upside down.
Yeah. No, she still doesn't find it.
And Dorsa's like at peak fever now, and she basically says to Shadea, you took the doll. The lady says you took the doll.
Yeah.
I'm going to run off with her.
Forget it. I'm going with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shadea slaps her.
Yeah.
Hits her really hard. But then Dorsa fights back.
Yeah, they kind of struggle on the floor. And this was difficult to watch.
They were having a proper fight.
Yeah.
It was tough.
But like both with their sort of hands around each other's throats.
Yeah. So that eventually peters out. It calms down a little bit, and then Dorsa. So they go to bed again. Dorsa goes to bed. Shida does not go to bed. She sits up with a knife in her hand.
Yeah, watching. The door. Shida kind of passes out eventually.
Yeah.
She can't stay awake.
And the ghostly figure reappears.
Yeah.
And
has visions of it taking Dorsa
away. And when Shida wakes up, she's up on the top of the stairs again. She's just woken up on the stairs for some reason. So she's screaming, looking for Dorsa, because as far as she knows now, this ghost stuck Dorsa. She doesn't realise that that's a dream. But when she goes back, Dorsa's hiding under the bed.
Yeah.
Iraj is on the phone again, just out of nowhere. The phone's off the hook.
Yeah, it's been left off.
She picks it up and he's still there chatting away, but it's not him, it's the ghost.
No, because it's saying to her, "Oh, you're useless. You're good for nothing."
Or a slut or something at one point. So Dorsa's like, I need to see what's going on in this apartment.
We're out.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going, but we.
But she heads up to the roof to start with because she's like, I want to see inside.
They see something going past the window again, and Dorsa's like, "What's that?" But and this time it's the tarp from the missile.
So when the missile was taken out, they covered the hole with a tarp, and that's come loose. So she gets up onto the roof and she looks into the room below, and her book's there on the floor.
Yeah, from her mother,
the one that she locked up in the drawer earlier.
It's her prized possession.
Yeah. So she's like, well, if that's here, what's in that drawer? Because
that locked drawer.
That locked drawer. So she goes to the key. She gets the key, which is on top of the bookcase, which is where the ghost told Dorsa the doll was.
Yeah.
She gets the key, unlocks the drawer, and inside the drawer is the doll. But it's all ripped up.
Yeah, it's been its
head's been chopped off, and its arms and legs
are off.
Ripped off. So and Dorsa sees this, and she's like, "I knew you had my doll, you bitch."
Yeah, and it's the language he uses because he's like, "You've killed it. Yeah, it's dead."
Yeah,
not like.
To her, this was
it's not a doll that you can fix because you could just stitch it back together quite easily.
And
she's like, "No, you've killed it."
Yeah, she was really attached to this doll. And Shadi's like, I don't think I did. But
she's like,
she's kind of losing her mind.
Trying to explain to herself and Dorsa, she's like, I think we've kind of been set up by the jinn.
Ghosts,
yeah, they're trying to push us against each other, but at the same time, she's like, did I do it? Because she's starting to unravel.
Yeah, she's not
had any
sleep either at all.
Babadookian about this movie in parts, isn't
Great shout. That's a great shout. That's a really good shout. So she's like, look, I can fix it. I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
No,
cool. Nice.
Dorsa goes back to bed.
Little bit,
yeah. So she loves masking tape, this woman.
Yeah.
She masking tapes this doll back together. She makes a really good job of it. It actually works, which would never happen. So she masking tapes this doll back together. She gives it back to Dorsa. And the minute Dorsa puts it in her arms, her fever disappears.
Yeah.
She's absolutely fine again. And then the siren goes off again. And the air raid siren goes off. And the power goes out. And they head back down to the basement.
Right. Shadea doesn't want to come back. She's like, right, we've got to go to the basement. Then we are getting straight out of it.
We're not coming back to this apartment.
So they're in the hallway. And she makes a mistake of... Dorsa's not got a coat. Yeah. She says, go and get your coat. It's going to be cold down there.
Yeah.
I'll be right after you. Shadea goes into the other room, picks up the bag that they've already packed.
Yeah. I don't think she would have let her out of her sight at this point. For me, that felt a bit like...
Yeah, after everything that's happened.
Yeah, you wouldn't have let her go on her own.
It was a big error.
Yeah, I thought so. It just didn't seem realistic that she would let her out of her sight for one single second.
Even... I don't know, you could say,
but she wasn't
they're
thinking
panicked.
Straight. Exactly.
But I tend to lean on your...
It took me out of it a little. It took me out of the moment a little bit.
Yeah.
Not out of the film, but
you've literally just got her back. You're ready to go. And now you're letting
her out your sight again.
Dorsa comes... This was clever, though. Dorsa comes back. She's got a coat on, but she's got a hood up.
Yeah.
And you don't get a good look at her.
No.
And
it's creeped me out.
And Shadea's like, right, follow me down to the basement.
Yeah. So they do. They get
down.
This
was horrible, this bit.
It was. So they head down to the basement, and as they get down there, you can hear a kid crying in the background.
Yeah.
And you're like, that sounds like Dorsa.
Yeah.
And then Shadea's like...
From their apartment.
And Shadea's like, that really sounds like Dorsa, but Dorsa's right there. I can see her. She's next to me. She's got a coat on.
She's still got a hood up, and she never pulls it down to get a look at her face.
Yeah. So, and then Shadea twigs, because you can hear her screaming now, Mum, where have you gone? Where are you?
Help me.
So she kind of kicks this kid that she's with away from her and runs up the stairs. When she gets into the apartment, the tape's not on the crack anymore in the ceiling. So something's going on.
Screams coming from her bedroom.
Yeah. And the ghost's under the bed. Yeah. So the ghost figure...
Well, it's a little girl in a coat.
Yeah.
So at this point, we're like, well, which one's
which? Yeah. So she grabs it and she pulls... The ghost Dorsa, we'll call it at this point, pulls Shadea under the bed by her hair.
Yeah.
And then Shadea manages to get away by ripping her own hair out. And then she runs back to the basement.
Well, not quite yet, because doesn't she pull the little girl back? Because she's like, oh, I'm going to pull you out. And then the hood falls back.
And that's... and there's that really creepy mouth
it's just
thing.
a mouth.
And just a giant mouth.
That tries to take a bite out of her.
Yeah, that was weird.
Didn't like that either.
That was weird.
It's just a set of teeth.
Yeah, it's just a massive set of teeth the size of her head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that bit. You're right, that was weird. So she heads back to Dorsa, who's still in the basement, because that was the actual real Dorsa.
Yeah, and now a kid's like,
what the fuck?
You
You
just
left me
fucking
down here
left
on
me
my own.
on my own.
Where did you go?
Surrounded by ghosts.
Yeah, she's not
And
happy.
she says, the lady's here. She's telling me she was right all along.
Yeah.
You've left me.
And Shide's now, she's like, she doesn't have a clue what's real and what's not now. She's losing her mind. So she's like, I don't know. Maybe I did leave you. Maybe I've been here all the whole time. I don't know. And then there's another jump scare. So Dorsa's standing there, and then all of a sudden the blanket ghost grabs her from behind.
Yeah,
envelops her in a blanket, massive blanket, which takes the blanket takes up the whole basement area. Yeah. And then Shide dives into it.
Yeah, she's got to go under.
She goes under this blanket, and we've got like a blanket chase.
Yeah.
It's really creepy and weird. So they're both under this blanket trying to find each other. And it's like they're just like literally pulling it apart trying to find each other. And eventually they do. And there's a really cool scene of Shide ripping herself out of this blanket.
Yeah.
So you kind of see it from above.
Like coming up for air, yeah.
Tearing herself through it. And she manages to get Dorsa onto the stairs so they can get out, because they need to get out of this basement now. Yeah. The basement's freaking
and the blanket kind of like falls to the ground.
Yeah, and turns into like this thick, gooey tar shit from Catler. And she gets stuck. Shida gets
it turns into like
stuck.
Quicksand,
yeah,
basically.
It's like tarry, gooey. It's pulling her down. And she can't get out. She's stuck.
She's managed to get Dorsa onto the stairs.
Yeah. So Dorsa's trying to help her. She's reaching her hand out. And eventually she does help her. She manages
to pull Shadaya
out of the goo, get up the stairs, run to the garage. She can't get the garage door open because there's something wrong with it. It was mentioned briefly earlier in the film. It's gone rusty. So she's got this little, I don't know what it is. It's like this cheap little Cinquecento type car. So she drives the garage door down with it. She bashes it down with her car and drives off. And they drive off into the night. And then
and sun rises and they're sort of driving through the countryside.
Yeah, they're heading up north, I presume, to Iraj's parents. And then we go back to the apartment. And the doll is still in the basement.
Just its head.
Just the doll's head is still in the basement. And the book is still in the top floor of the apartment.
Which then obviously implies the spirits still have these prized possessions
that belong to them.
They will never be free.
And then we get a close-up on the hole in the roof. Yeah. And the film ends.
Yeah.
What did you think of this, Nick?
I thought it was great.
I thought it was wonderful.
Is it the best Iranian film you've ever seen?
Yes.
I know, like I say, I was quite dialed in.
You were properly fully immersed, headphones and iPad.
Yeah, and
full on immersion.
It really got me.
Yeah, it's pretty scary at parts.
Yeah,
there are parts where you think there's more potential for more horror here.
Yes,
there's not enough horror in it for it to be a proper scary film.
But do you know what this does well? This movie is the opposite of what we see so much.
Yes.
Where we talk about a movie that has a small budget and just overreaches.
Yeah.
And as a result, it either looks shit or they've spent some money on it looking better, but there's no script. This movie
this money
does
well spent.
so well with its small budget.
Yeah.
It's just a sheet and it's
terrifying.
Really scary.
It's basically filmed in one building in Jordan with one sheet.
Yeah. The in inverted commas chase scene where they're just under a tarp, or a blanket.
It's intense.
Like they're probably just changing a bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really well done.
There's not many scares in it, but it earns the scares it's got because it really builds the tension up to them.
And the most expensive thing they did was probably break that window.
Probably was, yeah. Cut that hole in the roof, but there's probably a hole in the roof of that building. It's probably just an abandoned building somewhere.
Yeah.
But no, it's proper creepy. It's not. I wouldn't say it was scary, but it is proper creepy.
This is my sort of horror film because it's unnerving.
It is really unnerving. That's a good word.
And it's all about the atmos.
Yeah.
And it builds and it builds, and then it made me jump. I think 3 times I properly jumped out of my seat.
There's maybe 4 jump scenes in it, and 3 of them are great.
Yeah.
But it really earns them. It really builds up to them, and it tricks you into when they're coming. That bit towards the end where the sheep monster just comes up behind Dorsa and envelops her.
Yeah.
That's a proper jump scene.
Yeah.
And that one with a window. That's one of the best jump scenes I've ever seen.
It's
proper big jump scene. For me, I don't really get affected by them, but for me to literally leave my seat says something about how good that jump scene was. and how good this film is.
It's really well played because you know it's coming.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, she's looking out of a dark window. But then, like you said earlier, the moment almost passes.
Yeah, and then it gets it.
Just that little bit extra.
Yeah.
And
it looks like the scene's about to cut away and it's like a false jump scene.
Yeah.
Which you do get a lot of in films as well. And then it doesn't, and then it hits. And it's like, it proper got me, that one. That really did. It really made me jump.
I really bought into the folklore.
Yeah.
I thought it was weaved in well. The performances are really good.
Yeah.
Really good. By the two leads.
Yeah,
the little
definitely.
Girl and Shadea.
The girl who plays Shadea or Shida is so good.
Yeah.
Really good.
It just does so well with its little budget.
Yeah,
it just goes to show it can be done, and it can be done effectively
with a good script and a good director. Which I don't know if this guy is or not, because we've seen one great film by him and one terrible film.
I can't believe he's just the same guy that directed Wounds. It was awful.
Wounds is an awful film. It's beyond awful.
Horrid, terrible film.
Beyond awful film. But yeah, but this is it's like you say, it's a low budget horror film that's done really well.
Yeah,
like really well. I will rave about this film for a long time.
Yeah, it's really creepy.
It's not. I don't think it's scary, but I don't know if I look at horror films in a different way to some people do. But there are jump scenes in it, and it's proper tense and it's proper creepy.
Yeah.
But not necessarily.
But he's got you on edge throughout, and it's not necessarily. It doesn't assault your senses.
You're not going to lose any sleep at night over it.
No.
But
like you watch it and you're like,
stories.
oh, this is. I'm getting a bit goosebumpy now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought it was wonderful. I think that you've made a really good pick there.
Yeah, I thought it would be pretty good,
and it's really
good.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it.
Yeah, it exceeded my expectations.
What's the best bit about it?
It is that for me, it is the sense of foreboding.
Yeah,
it's the direction, because it's
the director. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
The director's the best thing about it.
Yeah.
The way he just builds up that tension all the way through.
Yeah, it's just
and
really well built.
It gets relieved with a jump scare, and then he starts again.
Yeah.
And you can feel it building to the next one.
And the climax, when she's sort of torn between, am I going upstairs to rescue?
Yeah.
Which
one
is
is
my
my
daughter?
daughter?
Yeah.
She's at that point you can see that she's losing her mind. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know which daughter's real and which one isn't. She makes the wrong choice.
Yeah.
And then to come back, and for the way Dorsa acted at that point was like, what the fuck? Where did you go? Why did you leave me down here on my own?
And the ending's lovely as well.
Yeah,
it's not. It's horrible.
It's horrible.
But it's these guys are never going to be free.
No, that's still got your possessions, and it's still going for them.
You like it said at the start, they've been marked, and
yeah,
they did not escape. Yeah, foreboding. Absolutely, full of praise.
What would you change about it?
I don't know if there's much.
I don't either.
Because we've not really mentioned this. It's only 80 minutes long.
Yeah, I could have done.
You can't trim much from this.
I wouldn't trim. I'd add to it if anything.
I don't know if I would want to.
I don't know if I know. Yeah, like you said, I don't even know if I'd want to do that. You maybe put a couple more jumps. I'd like to have seen a bit more of the ghost itself, just to see it.
Yeah.
Because it was a cool visual. It is just it's a person in a sheet.
Yeah. Which
is like old school ghost. But it just works.
There's nothing that's ringing out of me to change, to be honest.
I'm with you. 100%. Should we talk stream table?
Yeah, let's do that.
This is going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult.
It is. Because I remember when... There's no question this is the best or the second best film of the season.
It's in the top 2.
It's in the top 2. It's just where we put it. Because
I don't know, man.
When we watched Apostle, we said I'd be really happy if anything was better than Apostle this season, and I honestly didn't think we'd get close, but we've got close. Definitely,
it's an absolute flip of the coin.
It is,
because I would say what Apostle has got going for it, for me, is more the element of surprise.
Yes,
because that is a proper assault on your senses, and I was like, "What the fuck is this film?" And it just keeps giving you more. You think, oh, it's gone up a level, and then it keeps going. And that last hour is just, wow. It is a full-on assault.
It's manic.
And this is
virtually the opposite. This is like...
just different. It's totally different.
It's a slow-paced, proper good horror
story,
film, ghost story. And it is really slow. It is
both
slow.
Creepy and...
But, yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't...
It's tough for you. It's even more tough for you because if you go, This is the best film we've seen all season. It sounds like you just want to win the wildcard race.
I don't. I'm not bothered about.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
just.
But it sounds like you are.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's so close.
It is really close.
It's just going to be personal preference.
For me, I think Apostle gets it.
I think that's where I'm leaning.
It's a lot closer than I thought we'd get to Apostle. I thought that was going to win it by a mile.
Honestly, it is paper thin.
It is. They're both.
Go and watch them both.
They're both excellent.
They're both awesome.
They're both real hidden gems on Netflix. But I think Apostle slightly edges it, and I can't even really say why.
I think I think it's just got to be that Apostle took me by surprise.
Yeah, and
I going into this, it's better than I thought. Under the Shadow, it's better than I thought it would be, but it is what I thought it would be in terms of the content.
Great way to put it.
It does it really well.
Yeah,
but it's the movie that I expected it to be.
Whereas Apostle is absolutely not.
Twists and turns, and
every scene is better than the last one, and it just keeps building and building and building until it just gets to the point where you like just sitting back watching it like I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's really, really close.
It might be the closest top
two
that I can remember.
There's still three wildcards left. Two wildcards left. Ross played his? Yes. So there's me and Jordan left to play. But I think Apostle just edges it.
I can't disagree with you.
As much as you really want to.
No, well, part of me does.
You want to be like, fuck Sam Mulholland.
I've got to be honest. I think Apostle would just take it for me. I've been thinking about this most of the day. And I can't quite put an argument together for this to edge it out.
I think,
but it didn't need to do much more. I don't know what it needed to do, but I think it is just that element of surprise.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's where we go. I think it has to go second.
Strong.
You did really well though. It's a really strong. It's a really strong top three.
I will watch this movie again.
Oh yeah, same, definitely. And I will watch Apostle again as well though. Sam, you were ridden quite close then by Nick.
I've absolutely rode you so close.
I rode
you hard, Sam.
Right to the edge. So there's two wild cards left this season. Me and Jordan have got some work to do there because
go and watch this movie. By the way,
go and watch this movie.
Don't be put off by the fact it's an Iranian movie.
I wanted to say at the beginning of the episode that there's not many times where we'll say before you listen to us talk about this film, go and watch this film. But I would say that about this, and it's too late now. But
it's an awesome movie.
It's a wonderful film. It's a really good. If you like a ghost story, it's really good.
Yeah,
really good. Do you want to pick next week's film?
Yeah, let's do it.
What would you like from next week, Nick?
Something that's
good,
not as stressful for me.
Yeah, we need less intensity. I think with mine. Afterlife, Anti-Life was not very intense, was it?
It certainly was not.
We haven't done many. Have we done a comedy this season?
Not many. We got Arlo the Alligator Boy.
Destruction in Las Vegas, I guess, was a comedy.
You know, a classic horror story was a dark comedy. I wouldn't say we.
Are we due a comedy? Is that?
I think we are. Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Robin, what have you got for us? Hello, my name is Doris.
Hello, Doris.
I need to stress at this point that when I say to Nick, "What do you want from next week's film?" we have no idea what Robin's about to pick.
No.
Robin's picked a comedy.
Oh, lovely.
Hello, my name is Doris is a film from 2015.
Okay.
Do you want to know the synopsis?
Yeah, I do.
It says, a self-help seminar inspires a 60-something woman to romantically pursue her younger co-worker.
Okay.
6.6 out of 10 on IMDb.
Oh, wow. All right.
Runs for 1 hour and 30 minutes and stars Sally Field
Oh.
as the 60-something woman.
She's been on this show before.
She has.
Way back.
Way back. In
Little Evil.
She
had a cameo.
Didn't her son direct it?
Correct.
Yes.
She got
that was
punched in the face.
That was really early. It was episode 6, I think. Also stars Max Greenfield.
Oh, okay,
Off of New Girl fame. Yeah, it sounds fun. We haven't done a romantic comedy in a very long time.
No, I'm good for that.
I'm just looking at the director to see what it's made before. We'll do all that next week, I guess. Yeah, so go and check out Hello, my name is Doris. In the meantime, after you've done that, before you do that, or whenever you want to do this, go to... My stomach is rumbling so hard. Can you hear it? Through the earphones. That's really bad. Before you do all that, go and check out us on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. The same username, at BOTS_podcast. If you want to drop us an email, you can feel free to do that. It's bottomofthestream@gmail.com. Check out our website, bottomofthestream.com. On there, you will find every episode we've ever recorded. all the stream tables, loads of other cool stuff, and you can even get some merch if you want to buy a bottom of the stream picnic hamper.
Okay.
After you've done all that, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/bottom of the stream. If you do that for a couple of quid every month, you will get early access to the movie show episode. You'll get bonus episodes. We've released a bonus episode this week.
Indeed.
Nick writes a newsletter every month to give you a bit more information on stuff that's going on in Netflix world. And if you come in at the top level, you can have your own wild card, which is what Nick played today and is why we've watched this film. And you can pick one and we will watch that. And then once you've done all of that, come and join us in Discord, have a chat with us, have a chat with some of our wonderful friends in there. The Discord link will be in the bottom of the show notes.
If you've got a few minutes to spare, please consider leaving it as a review anywhere that you can review podcasts. Podbean, Podchaser, Cephalopod, Apple, iTunes, Pods, whatever that's called. Because it really helps put our little podcast in front of people's eyes and in their ears. Maybe you could make a blanket fort review. Just get all your sheets out and sort of make a review out of those. Form them into words and...
Or put a crack in your ceiling.
Okay.
And write it in a crack.
Oh, you just want people to graffiti their own walls.
Damage your own walls into a review.
I don't condone that, but go for it.
Cool. Do all of that and then go and watch Hello, My Name is Doris. And we'll be back on Monday for The Wave and on Thursday to talk about that film that I've just said.
Cheers.
Bye.